can see here, another thing that is so prominent in the World Expo tradition is all the interactive and immersive technology. And I'm in the Montenegro pavilion, and it's quite, again, very small, one of the pavilion clusters, but you can see here, in addition to the video screen, you also have this mirror, which gives you some cool reflections of some of the ceiling installations. So a lot of immersive experiences here, certainly to speak of. So probably just behind me you can see the two dancers here inside the Venezuela pavilion, and this is one of many examples of immersive technology that you typically find at an expo. So they've essentially, what they've done is they've created a dance floor back here, and they have these virtual dancers, and it's sort of the hit, I would say, of this particular cluster, which is the tuber and serial cluster. So as we look here at the pavilion of Slovakia, one of the things that was interesting about some of the immersive experiences at the Expo was that so many of these experiences were focused on a use of technology. And you see this in Slovakia. I'll show you in a second also the same technology in the Italian pavilion using the Oculus glasses. And these are quite popular and certainly do provide an immersive experience. They give the guests that sense of a sensory surround, a visual surround. You can see things in a 360-degree sense, and as your head is moving, of course, you have that opportunity to feel that immersion within a particular place. And I have to say that it was interesting to interact with a lot of these technologies, and many pavilions had them. But my only concern is that sometimes the technology is used for the sake of technology and not necessarily for the immersive experience. I'm not saying that per se for any of these pavilions, but as an overall statement about how technologies like the Oculus glasses get used to create immersion. Now, at the same time, there are other examples of technology at the Expo, and you can check those out in many other videos I've featured. Everything from video walls to all kinds of interactive light displays that were, I think, part of that overall experience of continuity and creating a guest experience that was immersive in multiple senses. Now, the other thing, as we look at the Pavilion of Austria, is to say that you could integrate technology with other design features, architecture, in this case, this interesting forest that was created as part of the overall emphasis on air and breathing as part of the Austrian tradition. So I think it gives us opportunities to think about multiple and hybrid ways of approaching immersion, and not just relying on any one form such that that one form becomes an emphasis in and of itself. It should always be, whether it's a technological form of immersion or an environmental one, an emphasis that helps to aid in telling the story and not become the story itself. So certainly a lot to think about here as we focus on immersion of the guest at Expo 2015 in Milan. So I hope you enjoyed this video feature today here at World Expo 2015 in Milan, focusing on the various interesting ways in which the various nations and pavilions created immersive experiences for the guest. Please come back for additional video features of the Immersive World's Handbook.